So it's been about a year, or almost a year, since Steen's Revenge was leased onto the internets. What have you guys been up to since?
I've been doing a lot of cocaine.
I haven't. Not as much as I would like. This year, honestly, I've watched Steen's Revenge a lot, because I love that movie. It's been acting wise, it's been actually a pretty slow year for me. So hence the beard. you can tell I haven't had to be on screen for anything in a while. All right. No, it's just been doing a lot of other things, just working a lot, and then actually really started my painting and sold a couple paintings. So I've been focusing a lot on that lately, which is good, which I'm enjoying a lot. But this summer is picking up. I have a web series and a short film that I'm going to be shooting in the next little month. So things are starting to pick up again. So I feel like this year will be good, and then we'll go on that momentum.
Been working a lot, trying to do the next movie. And that's a whole other kettle of fish, but to summarize it, yeah, that's what I've been doing.
The most random expressions ever. I love it. Kettle of fish. What? Can of worms. Are there kettles of fish? I don't even know.
That's the expression.
I don't fish, so I don't know. It was good because that was the first time I actually saw it on like a big screen. Yeah. It felt really good. I enjoyed that. It's a lot.
Big screen with a lot of stains. It
was so bush league. It really was. For me, it was awesome. I had a great time. We were sitting up in the front row, and some film had just finished playing, and everyone that it was cast and taking part of that film was all sort of they'd wandered off in the corner, and they were all sort of talking, and it was really interesting because little by little you sort of noticed them starting to notice what was happening on screen and how just, for me, epically amazing it looked.
Like happening in ours?
In our film, yeah, compared to theirs. And they're all sort of like, what is this movie? And all sort of paying attention. And we were sitting a front row on this one. We just literally went front row. And we were having the time of our life. Like, we were just waiting for scenes to happen, those moments that are coming. And it was a fantastic night for me.
We like run up front row, yeah. We're all psyched for this. We're like, oh, this is a shitty screen, but we're still gonna watch. And yeah, just like Danesh said, we're like waiting for the beats to come in the movie, and we're hitting each other. Yeah, this is coming up. This is coming up. Wait,
like
this is
kids,
where your muscles.
Like kids.
Obviously, I'd seen the movie before, so it should have been like, oh yeah, it's just a movie plan. Just sit here politely. But I was like watching it like as an audience member, right? And
we were laughing so loud. It was great.
And I started to listen to the people, just like Danesh noticed the people from that shitty Howells movie. That's how much I started to notice them in the corner, how they were noticing. I was listening to people behind us, and people were like getting into it. Like it starts off like, okay, let's see what's going on with this movie. And then people were getting into it. They're like, I remember when Ruby came on screen, and some of these like, holy tits.
I didn't hear that.
I think Ruby heard it too. During the big shootout action scene, people are laughing, like the arm flies off, and people are cracking up. Like, perfect.
It was perfect. As we were shooting it, for me it was kind of like it's that fantasy kid thing in you that you're like, I'm just doing a badass action film. And it's a little bit ridiculous, but it's fun, and there's this crazy action, and we're going over the top, and we're just doing crazy stuff. And such a fun shoot, one of the most fun shoots I've ever had. And so you're sitting there and you're like, yeah, this is really cool, this is really cool, this is really cool. And this is a testament to him as a director and editor and basically everything that he does. Because when I saw the film, I, again, loved it, and I was seeing all those fun moments, all those quirky moments, all those crazy moments, all that, the over-the-top shootout scenes, the arm flying off, all that ridiculous stuff. But the more I watch it, the more I notice, the effort he put into it, and the more I sort of respect it as a film itself, like an actual like short film.
Yeah.
Because you sort of get lost in all the action, all the sort of this insanity that we put on there. But then you sort of pay attention and you realize that it's well put together. Like it's a great story, and he put a lot of effort into it, and it comes off and you notice it. So I started respecting it more as a film, and not just looking at it like this action film that I really enjoyed doing. So that's testament to him.
I go between loving it and saying, oh well, that's why it's not getting into film festivals, because it's because I didn't light it right, and it's shot in a youth center basement, and it's like I'm Frodo. And, you've walked all the way to Mordor. You've gone through all this crap to get the job done, and you remember the pain and all the struggles. And when the ring finally goes into Mount Doom, and it's like, all right, it's over, and you can't really enjoy the end result. You can only remember the pain that came along with it. But then you go back to the Shire, and you're having you go to the Green Dragon, and you're having your pints with your fellow hobbits, and you're just like, you nod to each other like, yeah, boy, we did it. That was something. And that's what it's like with this film. Like, I was putting it all together, and I could only see the warts and remember going through it all. And not until maybe a month or two later, when I watched the movie just on a whim, I think I just put in the Blu-ray to test it out. And I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. Like, I really enjoyed it.
People, when they watch that film, I don't think they realize the level of difficulty that we had putting that film together, and sort of how, because we shot that over a very long
It took a long time.
I mean,
just the length of the shoot killed me, because it's not so much that it was the endurance, it was that I was making people wait forever. Not audience members, just you guys. Oh, can you shoot another day? I need this. I need to redo this. I didn't do that many redos on this. Not like Family Man. That was a fucking that was a bonanza of reshoots.
But again, that's the thing. So you sort of, like, from my perspective, being involved in it and being at those shoots and on those locations, that to be honest, I walk in and be like, how is this gonna work? And seeing the final product, you're miles ahead of where you thought you were gonna, like I thought we were gonna be. And so for me, that's impressive. You might look at that and be like, it's not where you want it to be, and I totally understand that, because as an actor, I'm never where I want to be as an actor. So as a filmmaker, you're probably never where you want to be. I think it's just part of our nature as artists.
Yeah.
Artists.
Whereas me as an audience, I'm like, this is awesome.
Right? Audience members, like,
I love this.
So yeah, I think we're going to be critical and judgmental of our work no matter what.
Yeah, we can't help it.
Yeah.
We're both trying to. I don't want to put either one of us down, but we're trying to go beyond what. We're trying to be bigger than we think we are.
Yes.
How many people did you guys audition before you found the people you went with in the flick?
For Ruby, there was only, or for Lucy, there was only Ruby and Deanna. Paul, it was only him. It was always him. I saw his picture, and I said, "This is the guy." And then a year later, I finally emailed him. This thing was taking forever, so I had that luxury. And he was in, so it was fate, I guess. For what's his name? Adam's role, whatever the character's name is. Andrew Sullivan? Yeah. 4 guys. I went through so many guys trying to find Steve. So many auditions.
I think the biggest difference for me on Steen than anything else was that we were friends at that point. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like I wasn't going. It didn't feel like I was going on a regular set. Like I was, and you and I became friends really quick. Yeah. And so I was literally kind of going to hang out with some buddies and do some fun shit. So
that's the way that's what made the shoot so fun. That there wasn't that awkwardness.
Yeah. and we could crack like really just ridiculous jokes, and it was fine.
I just almost felt like Ruby coming in. She was like, "What am I walking
Right?
into?"
Well,
I felt sorry for her.
Yeah, especially on that first day of shoot, because we were all really close, and
I've known him since grade 6, and you and I were like,
oh yeah, it was right on point. And yeah, so I think that was the biggest difference for me than any other set, because you always have that feeling, okay, you know, you're nervous and you want the director to be happy and you want your work to be good and you want everything to be good. And not that we didn't want our work and everything to be good. We wanted to be, but you didn't have that. You were comfortable. You're at home. Like it was easy. And I think I really enjoyed that. And that is the reason why, even though there were delays and it took so long, I never at any moment disliked the project or was annoyed by it, because every time I went on set, I had such a good time. Mm-hmm. So I looked forward to doing it again. Whereas other like Family Man and other things, when it was too prolonged, it started getting a little, okay.
Family Man was a drag. I think it was just an emotional drag.
Yeah.
But this, you could feel the unhappiness.
Yeah.
And we were stuck in that
little room,
cell.
Let's bang this out. And but yeah, and then that's the biggest thing about Steens, that compared to anything else, it was just a bunch of friends getting together and doing some cool shit.
Oh God, what?
There were so many great moments.
So many great moments.
Shooting that kiss. I nearly, I was holding on to the arm of the tripod, and I think I just, briefly let it go, and the camera was going towards the ceiling, and my mouth just dropped. I was like, the whole thing. And then you finish, and I forgot to yell cut, I forgot to stop the camera. That was awesome.
That was awesome for
I got
me
it
as well. I mean, if you look at the blooper reel, it's ridiculous. You see, the moments I forgot that even happened, and I was cracking up for the "you guys are so gay" moment from Ruby is amazing, and then there's so many. I really enjoyed, and I feel horrible right now because I forgot his name, the actor who plays the doctor at the end. Paul. I really enjoyed watching that scene because it was the first real dramatic moment that Steen had, in the sense of actual, sort of this back and forth, and you don't really know what's happening. And I really enjoyed watching that because he did a great job, and he has this sort of serious sort of he's the only one that actually knows what's going on, and Steen is so sure of himself, and then in that moment he realizes, oh wait, I have no clue. But it's still not enough to stop Steen from killing him. He's like, I'm still gonna kill you because
that's what
this is what I do. I kill and then I figure things out later. So that, I think that was one of my favorite scenes to watch, because it added a layer to the whole plot. And then of course you have immediately after the plot twist that just a door, which when I was with him, as soon as I saw, we talked about this, and he sent me that script and I saw that, I read that plot twist, I was on board. I was like, yes, this is exactly it.
That's all people ever talk about. My sister and her boyfriend, they had a period 6 months ago where they were just watching the movie a lot. And he was plugging it to everyone he knew, and my sister and boyfriend would come to me yeah, that was a really awesome movie, and the ending, that was awesome. I almost said it, but come on, if you haven't seen it, what's the matter with you?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, just in the beginning of the film, when I do the Batman homage, where Johnny comes down the hallway, and Steen's on the side, and he goes, whoo! That's the guy. I love it. I look at that. I know it's coming. I'm like, this is awesome. And even when I watch Batman now, that's the moment I ripped off. Catching the arm. That was the scene that sold me. Because I don't know if you remember, but after shooting Family Man, I was so emotionally ruined that I don't know if I wanted to do another one. We met up at Tim Hortons on Bloor. And I read you what I had of the script, and I read you the
part with the arm flying off, and you laughed, and I just saw you laughing and enjoying that. I'm like, okay, I'm making this movie because I love it too. And I think I've said this before. I'm a very selfish filmmaker, and then I want to see the movies that I want to see. If I'm happy with it, that's fine. And if my actors are loving it, that's fine. I don't care if Mr. Turtleneck on the review board says this is a masterpiece.
When we started on Family Man, it started really well, and it was like cool, and it was a fun shoot. We'd get there, we were in this little pantry shooting, and it was fun. And then a lot of delays started happening, and a lot of stuff. And you know, I having seen your previous interviews and blogs, I think people know what all those delays were, who they were. So the atmosphere changed rather quickly on that film, and even for myself, it reached a point where I wanted it to get done, and I was happy when it was done. And even there were moments where I remember we shot a good portion of my dialogue with me alone. Elliot wasn't even in the room, and it was just you and I in the pantry shooting it. And I felt very weird because I didn't know how it was going to turn out, because I literally didn't have even there wasn't even a stand-in to bounce the lines off. I think you were reading the lines, so it was just sort of I did my best, and hopefully it looked all right. And so it just sort of I felt like, okay, I just want to kind of get this done, because it started dragging on a little bit, and every time I felt like I was sort of stepping out of character a little bit and then having to come back. Because we had some periods of, like, we had it long, like, we started, and it was, like, snowing, and it wasn't snowing, then it was snowing, it was, and, so, and then I would come back and be like, oh yeah, this guy, and then I remember one day I really remember I went in and we were shooting, and I couldn't get the Irish accent back in, not that I have the best Irish accent, but I was like, what, because I think I was sort of off in somewhere else in my head, and it was hard to get back in. So that was the biggest difference, because when we started shooting for Steen, coming from him especially, there was sort of this sense of being completely relaxed, and there was no pressure, and it was going to be fun. And that changed it a lot for me, because the great thing with working with Mike is Mike gets excited about the really crazy, cheesy, fun things in the film, and I can get excited about it as well, because as an actor you just, like, a hand's gonna come flying at you, you're gonna catch it, you're gonna hit the guy, and you're just sitting there and being like, yes, I will never have the chance to do that ever, and I'm gonna do it in this film. So you get excited, and he gets excited, and that's great. Whereas on Family Man, the excitement had really died down, and then there were a couple moments where we did some ridiculous things and we were laughing, it was fun, but it in comparison to how this shoot was with Steen, was really different, and I enjoyed it much more. I enjoyed that shoot much more. Yeah, I think we laughed more than we did anything else. So
oh my gosh.
Yeah, we had some good times.
Yeah, like, I look back at Steen and I look at Family Man, the ending, we didn't even shoot an end scene. She wasn't even in that room. You created it out of nothing. When I saw the final product, I was like, this never happened. None of this happened.
Yeah, we never shot the ending.
And so it was that was amazing. I don't, like, how you put that together was surprising to me, because I thought it was done. When she saw, oh yeah, and I forgot, she never came back. She just disappeared. And I was like, how are we gonna shoot, like, are we gonna get another girl and shoot the whole thing over again? And you put it together. So, like, as an actor, I can only go so far. This guy managed to, he pulled a hat trick on that one.
Yeah, like, thank you.
I actually remember that moment. We were sitting in the van. We were driving.
We were in a McDonald's parking lot.
And you're like,
good happens at McDonald's.
Yeah, and you're like, I actually have this short film I want to make, and I think you'd be cool for one of the parts. And I was like, yeah, I'm totally in, buddy.
That was it. That was the audition process.
That was exactly what happened.
I was about to ask how the audition process for Family Man was. Like, how'd you get the part for Steve? But
oh, that was an actual no, that wasn't. That
wasn't the audition, because we did
Office Party.
Office Party. And that was a shame. we met at the audition of Office Party. I remember I walked in, and there were two guys sitting there, and this guy had a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles hat on, and I was like, "Wicked hat, bro!" And he was like, "Oh, thanks." And that was it. We were buddies after that, and we just chilled and talked for a little bit, and then I auditioned for the scene, and then got the part, playing originally what was supposed to be a douchebag truck driver, and turned out into a hippie van pot smoking guy. Yeah. And we shot that day, and I remember I chose to go shirtless in a van in like minus 40.
It was freezing that day. We're in the back of a van, and he shows up and decides to take his shirt off.
I was playing a hippie.
And put this vest on.
You were channeling Matthew McConaughey.
Right? Yeah, pretty much. And you were actually in the scene with me.
I was your sidekick?
Yeah, you were my sidekick.
I like to have a cameo in every movie.
And I honestly, and it's not even because I was in the movie and it was my scene, but that's my favorite scene of that film.
It is the best scene.
It's the best. It's just
which
it's
movie was
funny.
that?
The Office Party. Have
The
you
Office
seen
Party.
that?
No, I haven't
That's
seen
all
it.
right. That's all right.
That's all right.
Yeah, you don't need to see that.
No, and then but yeah, so that's how we met, and then after that we got in touch, and then
It happened.
he sent me Family Man stuff, and that was it.
That was historic. Let me just say this.
Yeah.
I wish that our first meeting had been videotaped.
Yeah,
Ninja Turtles hat.
yeah.
He loved it.
I loved it. That was the moment.
That was like meeting your wife, but not as weird. No, that was like one of those moments where it's like
You instantly knew.
you put it on the timeline, right?
Yeah, yeah. I agree 100%.
That was momentous. That was 5 years ago.
I honestly I don't know what he has planned at all. He's spoken briefly with me about it, but I don't really know the direction it's going to take for the character as much. He's mentioned some scenes and the more sort of like visuals that he has and things like that. For me, what I would find interesting with Steen is to sort of to see Steen's a very let's call him a rock and roller. He's very much sort of in it to win it. Like he kills. He has fun. He's good at what he does. It's his thing, and it would be fun to see him sort of move out of that element and grow, and sort of require more thinking. And sort of discover a little bit of who he is to himself. I think he's very much I've created a big backstory for him in my mind when I was making this character. So this has nothing really to do with anything, but I think he realized what he was good at and what he could do, and he decided that was just going to be what he was, and he just went head on in it, and he wants to be the best at it and good at it, and he really doesn't care about anything or anyone else other than that. And then sort of really, I guess, discovering himself and really finding out who he is other than just the crazy killer, and making some tough decisions, I think would be really fun for him.
Yeah, I want to see Steen as more of than just a wrecking crew. There's obviously a story there. There's a man behind the vest. That's what your biography is going to be called.
Man behind the vest.
Yeah. He needs to be deeper, and I think that's why I've said earlier how I kind of looking back on Volume 1 and saying it's not good enough, it's amateurish, is that there's not enough character in it. It's just Steen going person to person killing. But yeah, like I want to show how we got there. I want to see Steen use his hands a little more. It's too easy to pull a trigger. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's a beast mode for a reason. That beard didn't come with bullets.
Mike's never actually really seen me act. He's only seen me do Steen.
I want to see you act. Yeah. I'm making you act in this one.
Good.
Like, by the end, you're going to be Pacino.
I can actually do some things.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
I'm really ripping off a lot of movies for this one.
I remember reading the script for Steen's Revenge, and then I text Mike every time I caught something. It was like, "You were watching Batman, weren't you? You were watching Jurassic Park, weren't you?"
Was there a Jurassic Park
There
reference?
was. You were at one point. It was like, "Clever girl." It's like you were watching
Yes.
Jurassic Park.
So, yeah, it's going to be a bunch of friends again. Better friends than ever.
Yeah.
And we're just going to be doing this serious movie. But we're going to be between takes, just laughing it up.
Laughing our ass off.
Forever to get that thing.
It's
Justin,
gonna. The blooper reel is gonna be
Oh
as long
my
as the
gosh.
film.
Yeah.
That's fine, man.
It's gonna be good. Yeah.
That's yeah. So we're gonna have some
Forward to
fun.
it. Yeah.
Get us some budgets here, and we'll kill it.
I have to find a really good-looking Asian girl who's willing to take her top off.
I'll keep my eyes out.
You will. Mike Naulls. Gonna ask you awkwardly.
Genius.
Right next
It's
to
gonna be
him.
awkward.
Genius.
Oh, me? I thought you were talking about the question.
No, you. Genius, brothers in arms. Fun guy, great director. Love him. Yeah. I love him. Great actor, fantastic guy. Oh my God, this guy, like, for how much we put him through this film, and the fact that there was not one moment where that guy, like, complained or anything, and I remember him driving me to work and him driving me home.
That was the most insane drive
Right,
on the
and-
last day.
Yo, on that last, we were.
That was
I was so
amazing.
late,
And he was like
Jumping
zipping through
curbs.
traffic, and he was just doing some insane stuff to get me to work on time. And nice, just a good-hearted guy, just a really good-hearted guy. And glad to hear that he's doing some cool things. And yeah,
Oh, I was texting him a few weeks ago, and I'm like, buddy, I like he texted me first.
Yeah.
He said, I saw you on my contact list, and I just thought I'd text and say, I hope you're doing well. I'm like, you are a gentleman.
gentleman, yeah, just the nicest guy.
So yeah, I
just
said,
the
I'm
nicest
doing
guy.
well. I hope you're the same. I've actually been a little nervous, thinking you're not going to be able to do the next one. And he's like, yeah, I'm totally in.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's my boy. Surprised when it came to Adam, because I remember I was there when we auditioned him, and he I remember when we went through the audition, he came off a little comedic, but we both sort of liked him. And then when we saw the footage of the audition, we both were like, oh my God,
Yeah, we just kind of looked at each other.
that's
This is
it.
the
Like,
guy.
that's the guy. We were surprised at how we didn't notice it in the audition as much as when we saw it on tape. And again, the same thing happened on shoot day when we were sitting there. And for me, at least, we shot the scene, and then when I saw it afterwards, there's a lot that translate of his expressions that translate really well on camera, and I don't know if he's aware of that or not, but he gives a lot more than you think he does to the camera, which is really good as an actor. That's an amazing talent to have. There was just a certain sense of just professionalism about Paul, which I enjoyed, because us being just the basic, like, let's just have fun, yeah. Guys, it was really interesting. I felt in that moment I was really doing like a scene with him. So that was, yeah, and that again, it was a surprising feeling for me because I'm used to coming on set and being like, what? And then I came on set and it was like, we're serious today.
Like, his stuff actually made me feel nervous, and like, this guy's a real actor, right?
Yeah,
this guy's like in his 50s. He's serious, and he brought like a collection of dress shirts. And yeah, he was like a serious actor, and he has this prestige about him that's just like, don't come off or don't come onto the screen and go woo, like, yeah, like be on, keep your back straight and do good work. But then he's like a big teddy bear too.
Dream come true. Yeah, because I don't think, unless I'm very lucky in my career, I don't think I will get the opportunity to play the kind of character that Steen is, and he's just a total, like, he basically, as a man, as a young man, the type of person that you see in film, like these action heroes that you see in film that you wish you were in real life and that you will never be because, you know, you're just not man enough to be that.
No, that's
Steen is that guy. So for me, Steen was that guy that just, you know, I could 50 guys around him and rather than walk away would give him the finger and just run into the crowd like that and just start fighting. That's who he is.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
He's Steve Austin. He's Stone Cold Steen Austin.
Oh, perfect.
So that's why it's a dream come true. Yeah, definitely. Ooh.
That's my response too.
I honestly I didn't know him the way Mike knew him, and I didn't experience everything that Mike sort of experienced from him. So I know Mike had a lot more of an association with him and a lot more of a history and a lot more going on, and I've heard a lot of that stuff. My immediate response was, should not have played that role. I know that sounds bad, but I feel Family Man would have been a much better film had another actor played that part. Mm-hmm. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. Sorry, Elliot, if you watch this. Nice guy. I liked him. Nice guy. But yeah, that's yeah. His sister was really cute. Wow.
But yeah, she trivia. Through her, I learned the word jailbait.
Oh, jeez.
I think Elliot said it when we commented on how his sister was hot. She said, "Yeah, she's jailbait," and I said,
"What's that? I've never heard that." Wow. Okay.
And that's,
but no, I didn't have anything personally against him. He was all right. I know that you guys had your own history. But yeah, no. To me, honestly, the only thing at the end of the day was when I watch, which in a weird way, I must appreciate him on some level, because I think the moment that we've sort of, like, the decision was made to do Steen was someone commented to you and said, that guy's way more interesting. He's making the movies. You should do something with that guy.
Yeah.
Which allowed me being. That guy being Steen to me. So, and that in a way I have to thank him, because that his lack of performance, or whatever you may say, allowed me to shine a little bit more and to do Steen in Volume 1 and then futurely Volume 2. And so, yeah.
And the eventual Steen 3, the musical, which we're all counting on.
Wouldn't that be?
Mike didn't let me watch it for the longest time, actually. And then he finally was like, yeah, take a look. And I texted him, like, I like it. I really like the guy who plays Steen. Like, he stands out. He's awesome.
Thank you. That's generally what I hear is, that guy, Steen, he was awesome. That girl, not so much.
I feel bad knocking it. I really do. Because who says my film's any better? But that was a bad movie. Like, it was... Did he ever get the dog back? It starts off as like this lazy, like the kind of a film student movie where it's just guys sitting around. Oh, you want a beer? And then the dog runs away, and you figure, oh, something's like the dog's gonna lead you to something, and then they're wandering through the woods for like an hour, yelling the dog's name. That's the only line of dialogue. and they're fighting about, oh, my girlfriend's gonna kill me. Oh no, she's not. Anyway, and we were waiting for this thing to be over so Steen can come on, and then a Sasquatch shows up, and you don't. That sounds weird. And then you don't really see the Sasquatch for a while, and then he kind of comes in. I think he like points the way home. This is ruining the ending, but I don't care. And then that's it. Like, there's no Sasquatch on Sasquatch action or anything. There's no, like, nothing happens with the Sasquatch. And it was a good-looking Sasquatch, too. You remember him?
Honestly, don't.
He looked cool. Like, it was a good makeup job.
Actually, we talked about a project. We just never actually managed to. I wrote actually, I wrote 2 shorts that I would like to film and I would like to get done. We talked about it, and I don't.
Talked about that one where we had pizza.
Yeah.
We were talking about that dream you had in the
The
dungeon.
dream, yeah, and
That scared the hell out of me.
It's based on an actual dream I had,
Yeah.
which I don't like sharing because it makes me sound completely insane.
It scared the
That
hell
it was a scary dream, and I remember waking up, and you know that moment where you're sort of you're half awake, half asleep, and I remembered that the dream was vivid, and I realized in that moment I was like, I have to write this down because it would make an amazing film. So I didn't open my eyes, and I sat there and I just sort of relived the dream over and over and over and over again as I slowly came to being awake, so that I wouldn't forget it. And then I grabbed pen and pencil and I just wrote down. I sort of like point form just wrote down what the whole dream was about, and it was the creepiest thing ever. So I would really like to turn that into a film. I also wrote another short, sort of a romantic short, and I would actually like to do both of those. And we talked about it. We never really followed through on that, and that's, I guess,
The one where the guy cleans himself up?
yeah.
Yeah, man.
Both
The
of
other one
yeah.
scares the hell out of me.
Yeah, the one that cleans. Yeah, the guy who cleans himself up. So those are 2. And then we never actually talked about it, and we both really were excited about it. And then I guess it's one of those moments where life kind of gets in the way, and and you don't. But we should actually.
Yeah, I don't want to be like one of those, oh yeah, sure, let's do it, and then never do it.
Yeah.
That happens way too often.
We actually have to sit down and talk about that then.
Yeah, man,
Thank you. That reminds me. Yeah, we need to do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the end of this.
Yes.
Peace.